We're only, 5 days away? Not even that, from Harry Potter, from Hogwarts Legacy. I cannot wait. I sat down with my kids last night and watched it, and my wife, and my wife was like, wait, so now that we're set up properly on the Xbox, I can play this on my own profile? I was like, yes, you can. Yes, you can. That game looks so good.
It does.
Tuesday, baby.
Tuesday if you pre-ordered the deluxe edition, and I believe Friday for everything else.
Oh, yes. I took this week off of work, and I should have taken next week off.
Yeah.
So that I could
And the
dive
week
in.
after that, you
And
should
the
have
week after
taken
that, I
3
should have
weeks off.
There are some jobs where people do that
Well, there are a lot of jobs, I think, where people do
for
that.
3 weeks, like professors, like jobs that don't matter.
Well, like people on oil rigs, like they go out there for months and then come back for months.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
You know?
Did you ever watch what is that show, Black Gold?
I don't know what you're talking about, but it sounds
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
It was a reality show, yeah.
Those guys, those dudes, and the Bering Strait sucking up gold,
Black gold.
black gold.
Yeah,
crazy.
sounds like a great time.
It's crazy. People die.
I know.
It's all the time.
Yeah, I had a friend that was on an oil rig forever, or worked on oil rigs forever. Like it's hard work, man.
Yeah. But if you're good at your job, they recruit you to NASA to save the world. So a lot of high, a lot of potential there.
This is true.
And then you get to date Aerosmith's daughter.
Yes, and
Steve Tyler's
play
daughter.
animal crackers on her stomach before you launch into.
So there's a lot of potential.
yeah.
That's right. I mean, the rewards are
The
outstanding.
rewards are just out of this world, literally. Halo had some news. Welcome, everybody, to the XoneBros. This is your positive gaming and Xbox community. Thank you for being here. It's been a fantastic week. Don't forget, if you haven't, come subscribe to us on YouTube. Also, check out X1 the Gamer. That's me. That's right, that's me. For daily news. You want to catch up on daily news in 10 minutes, you can do so, because I'm dropping 1-minute videos every day. That's shorts. Some of them might be nude news.
Some of them?
Some of them. There's Easter eggs. You got to find them.
I thought you were trying to get people to watch your videos.
Oh, yeah. Well, a certain type of person. Halo dropped some news this week, or not Halo, but rumors. It was actually dropped by Bloomberg and Jason Schreier.
There's been a lot of rumors with Halo going on the last couple weeks.
This one is probably for sure because of where it came from, but Halo's basically completely rebooting the franchise. And
the Unreal Engine, right?
And going
Remember
and
when we
moving to
started
the
that
Unreal
rumor?
Engine. Yeah, that was a rumor. That was a rumor started right here. That ended up being true. But yeah, so let's start with Jordan. Jordan gave us a side release. Let's pull up some of your sweet multiplayer, Spicy. Which, by the way, anytime I talk about Halo, I use her multiplier in my videos.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah, nice.
They're fantastic. It's fantastic.
The only reason I say is moving to Unreal, that's fine. I mean, I'm totally okay with that. But rebooting it, I feel like we've rebooted 4 or 5 and now Infinite. I feel like 343 is very notorious at oh, okay, they didn't like this, let's abandon it and never talk about it again. And it's like, okay, well, there's certain things that worked and certain things that didn't work. Like Halo 5, right? There was some missteps with Halo 5, but the idea of the co-op playing 4 different Spartans, that was kind of cool, right? Maybe you could have done something with that with Master Chief and maybe, Blue Team again, because people like Blue Team, or even Spartan Locke. I think Spartan Locke was a character that people liked, and then just totally abandoned in Halo Infinite, right? I mean, there are Easter eggs of him being there. The whole Infinity storyline, the whole Cortana thing, all that happens off screen because they're soft rebooting everything. I don't know. It just feels like it happens every game,
Well, that is the...
Halo 4...
That's because it's not yet met expectations.
Halo 4 was a complete departure from the series because it was basically Halo Call of Duty, right?
Halo of Duty.
Yeah, Halo of Duty. And not very many people liked that because they figured, well, if I want to play Call of Duty, I'll just go play Call of Duty, And then Halo 5 came out and it was like, okay, we'll completely revamp it again, do it completely new, this and that. And then that didn't go so well. So they're like, all right, we're going to do it again. And then Halo Infinite actually was surprisingly really well. There's a lot of good things about it.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm trying to get at is I hope they don't abandon what story they have told and just continue things. Like, for example, let's take Atriox.
Give it to me.
Really dope bad guy.
Badass in Halo Wars 2.
Yeah, really cool.
Halo Wars 2, really cool.
Problem. Halo Wars 2, really dope at the beginning, cool stuff at the end, no in between.
Yeah.
Halo Infinite, really dope at the beginning.
Oh man, when he like
Kind of a cool little thing at the end when his
he's-
face is all because of
when
the
he's like a
explosion. Yeah, you're like,
monster.
oh man, he's
Yeah.
there. Yeah, spoiler alert. Sorry, everybody. You're like, oh wow, cool. Nothing in between, right? Like,
yeah.
I feel like they I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm having more issues with the story, but I just what I'm saying is if they do reboot it again, I hope they just don't like can a lot of the story elements and progressions they've made with Infinite that are good things, right?
Yeah. So there's been lots of cuts at 343. That's where this comes from. Also rumored that they're moving to Unreal Engine, and the first project that has been on Unreal is Project Tatanka, which is their rumored battle royale mode.
That has evolved into so much more.
Spicy. Thoughts just on that? Moving to Unreal Engine, battle royale Halo being the first one that's on Unreal. Good thing, bad thing, ambivalent. You think it improves it?
Well, it obviously has to be done right.
Sure.
Let's consider that it's done right.
Yep.
Let's think that okay, it's done right. Yeah, I've said this many times. I think Halo is its universe. It's how potentially the armor would work, how potentially the gunplay would work, the weapon upgrades. There is not a game that could be a better battle royale than this game. I think this game, just the very nature and the atmosphere and everything, makes for a fantastic battle royale setup. I said that a long time ago. There's a lot of pushback from the community because there's been a lot of battle royales in our purview to play.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people were just tired of battle royale. I'm not saying to take away
Halo.
Yeah. I'm just saying
Add to it.
If Halo potentially could be the best battle royale that there ever was. I honestly think that the nature of the game puts itself in a place where it could be number one. And so the engine that I would think that could do that is Unreal. I think Unreal
Already does it.
already does. Exactly. It already does it. I think that Unreal could make it so that they could streamline content if they wanted to do a battle pass, if they wanted to take it that way. Unreal allows for that kind of adaptability, that kind of quick content release that I think that has hampered this game,
Even though we were told in their marketing material that the engine was made for
quick.
it
wasn't
seasonal
quick
content.
enough. It definitely wasn't quick enough. So I think that this game could be the best that ever was. And granted, we'll still want to play our team deathmatch. We'll still want to play our SWATs. We'll still want to play all those game types that we really like. But I think battle royale in this day and age is what can make a game last for decades.
And no, it is not going to take away from anything. That was the big argument. They were saying, no, they'll take away from multiplayer and stuff. I don't think it would. Examples are Call of Duty. It still has a strong player base through both. I mean, yeah, it's Call of Duty and it's super popular, but I don't think it would take away from any of that. I think it would only add.
So it sounds like what is happening is with all the layoffs, there's major restructuring happening. And with that major restructuring that has happened and is continuing to happen, that decisions are being made. Let me read this point in the article. This is an article from Bloomberg and Jason Schreier, who broke this news this last week. At several points over the past decade, he says, management at 343 debated switching to Epic Games' popular Unreal Engine, but it wasn't until late last year when previous studio head Bonnie Ross and engine lead David Berger departed and Pierre Hintz took over that the firm finally decided to pivot to Unreal. This switch will start with a new game code named Tatanka, according to people familiar with the plans. That project, which 343 is developing alongside the Austin, Texas-based game studio Certain Affinity, started off as a battle royale, but may evolve in different directions, the people said, working with the game. Future games in the series will also explore using the Unreal Engine, which may make development easier, although internal skeptics are worried that the switch may have a negative impact on the way Halo games feel to play. And Microsoft spokesman declined to comment on issues with the engine or the company's plans to pivot to Unreal.
That was my initial response. Like, can you still make it feel like Halo? Because different engine, different feel. But I think we came to the general consensus when we talked about it that, yeah, you could.
Yeah. With all of our development knowledge.
Yeah, with all of our development knowledge, yeah, you can make it feel the same.
Based on an entire guess, yes.
You can make it feel however you want.
No, yeah.
It sounds like they've been stuck in this in this stage of never quite meeting fans' expectations, and they're finally moving past that. They've made some leadership changes. They're making changes at 343. I think this quote here started off as Battle Royale, but may evolve in different directions. I think that says that different studios may be involved with mainline story campaign modes as well. That's certainly one of the options, of course, that it could be.
Yeah.
I think the other thing is we as fans were under the impression that we were getting some DLC with Halo Infinite. Parts of the maps were unlocked, that they were working on stuff. That turns out that was never the case. They were not working anyways on Halo DLC for the campaign.
Really? Because didn't we hear that it all got scrapped?
Yeah, right here. Since Halo, this is from Jason Schreier again. Since Halo Infinite was released, fans had assumed that in addition to new multiplayer modes, 343 was working on new content for the story, but that wasn't the case, according to people familiar with the situation. Developers were making prototypes in the Unreal Engine and pitching ideas for new Halo games rather than working on new missions for Halo Infinite.
That's actually kind of interesting that they're using Unreal to conceptualize initial conceptual, to create a concept, right? And then plan to do a lateral onto your engine.
Slip space.
That's that shows the power of that engine. They're using it as a template.
Many of those developers were laid off this month, and the company isn't actively working on new story content. People we spoke to said. So interesting. Granted, he is getting most of his information, I think, here from disgruntled people who were fired. So we do have to take that with a grain of salt, I think, and be skeptical of that. I do think Jason Schreier does a good job of breaking these, but he does have an agenda as well. He's all about the perceived notion that game developers are mistreated and so tends to be sympathetic to the disgruntled employee's ear. Not that he's wrong, not that they're wrong necessarily, but just always important to keep that in mind when reading these things.
Yeah. Yeah, I just want Halo to be a fun game. And I really want them to have a battle royale because I think that would be fun.
So when the word reboot is mentioned, is it like we're going to start from Halo 1's story arc?
No, I think it'd be like a Halo Infinite, like a soft reboot, right? Like kind of back to the series roots,
Back to Halo 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
But when you already did that with Halo Infinite, I don't know what you would call it with the next one. You know what I mean? Like a reboot of the reboot. I don't know. When I hear that, I just think, oh, great. They're going to scrap the story or everything that they've written and, restart again.
Well, can I, if I were to choose where we left off on the story, I would do the end of Halo 3.
I like the end of Halo Infinite.
Well, but
I wouldn't mind continuing off of that.
So to be clear, Microsoft...
Okay, but that story is to fix 4, 5, and other things.
Yeah, and I think they did a pretty good job of it. And there's a lot of things that we still, where's Spartan Locke? Where's Halsey? Where's Lasky, right? The Endless. Are we ever going to get an answer to that?
They introduced some really cool characters throughout that series. That's true.
Good parts of, good parts of those games, right? Like, where are those guys at? I mean, we kind of know... Actually, we really don't know because it's just audio logs of them talking. Like, they're not on,
true.
Like, we know they're somewhere. Blue Team, where did they go? I actually think there was an audio log with Blue Team. But anyway, stuff like that. Like, I think there's lots to explore that you can continue off of, let alone the Endless, right? That was the Endless. Wasn't there a trademark filed by Microsoft called Halo the Endless? So that means something was being worked on.
Well, here's the thing. So keep in mind,
or at least conceptualized.
Prototype.
When we say reboot,
prototype.
When we say reboot or reset, none of this is from Microsoft. This is all the interpretation of media and fans everywhere that that's what's going to be happening. That's what this means, essentially moving to Unreal Engine, et cetera, et cetera. So it's our own words using reboot. But I don't think that's unfair to use. I think that's effectively what it's trying to meet the expectations of where a Halo should be.
Mm-hmm. I think you do that with. I think you can. I think you can still do a lot with.
Is Gears Unreal?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's always been Unreal.
Yeah.
I think Unreal was like No, I don't think it was like. But I remember, was it like Unreal 2? Like they demoed Gears of War 2 on it. Like they basically, I remember it was Sweeney, I think his name is, like the head of Epic.
Yeah.
He was on stage and they basically like used Gears 2 because it wasn't out yet, and they basically made that engine around Gears of War 2 is what it seemed like.
That's cool.
And Gears of War 2 was
let's take some comments from
pretty
chat
sweet.
here. Let's start first with some super chats. Beast says, a pox upon the house of 343 for not really working on DLC. A pox, I say. Amen. Amen. We have some other people here saying, Forever Ninja says, anytime I hear anything other than a computer needing to be rebooted, it tends to scare me off. Sometimes it's not for the better.
Yeah.
Fair point. Blamore says they are way behind the Battle Royale train.
I think catch up. Call of Duty was behind. Apex was behind, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
So it sounds like, see, I expected you guys to be excited.
Well, it's just like, how many times are we going to go through
But we're finally
this?
moving to Unreal. That seems to me to be the limiting factor.
Not to mention,
here, no?
I don't know if any of this is true.
Slip space, but the fact that it seems like changes are being made and that we're finally moving to an engine that enables development to happen at speeds at which we need it to happen if you're going to have a Halo as live service game.
Mm-hmm.
The last time we waited for a Halo game, it took 6+ years. And this sounds like the very early stages.
But with an Unreal,
Well,
you can mock some stuff up real quick.
I would imagine Tatanka's pretty far along that Battle Royale mode. To me, I had the impression that has been being worked on for a while now, and that was going to complement their Halo Infinite multiplayer at the moment. So with this news, do you think we nail Season 3 at all?
No, I
you think
have
that's
no
a
hope
loss?
for. I have no hope for Season 3. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I have no hope for Season 3.
Do you think? Here we go. I'm going to start with Spicy because Jordan will be emotional. And then we'll go to Jordan.
And then I'm stone cold. I'm
You're
Iceman.
stone cold.
No mistakes.
Okay. Do you think Xbox at this point should just move on from Halo and Master Chief and find a new IP?
So no, absolutely not. This is akin. It's not as drastic, but you remember the Ring of Death on the Xbox 360?
Yeah.
There is so much branding potential, money making potential with the Halo IP. There is so much there. You have so much clout, so much backing power of nostalgia, of great gameplay. People that will always play that game.
Sure.
If you drop that, you're wasting an opportunity hard. And what I mean by the Ring of Death.
360. Yeah.
The Xbox 360, there was a discussion whether or not to just drop the Xbox entirely. We can't, it's going to cost us billions of dollars to fix this mistake.
Yeah.
Do we put this in? And I'm actually very glad that they said no.
Oh yeah.
Let's pay the money. Let's make sure everything's taken care of. We don't want to lose this brand. Halo is in many ways Xbox. They have different pillars now, but when you think of Halo,
yeah,
you have a notion of thinking of the Xbox brand as well. Halo and Xbox go together, and I don't think you can even consider removing Halo from the. That's like Nintendo removing Mario.
Yeah,
That discussion should. If that discussion is taking place, something is going on that's wrong.
yeah. By the way, this year we get that Mario movie. I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, actually, that
Very
was
excited
really
for it.
good.
Jordan, agree with Mark? Disagree with Mark?
Yeah, I think it would be foolish because it sets the precedent. Precedent.
That is a word.
Yeah.
Yes.
It sets that.
It sets that. It sets the president.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, you don't want to basically take a giant IP of yours, drive it into the ground, and then abandon it. I mean, what does that what does that say? You know, that's like, okay, well, Forza's next. You know, like what? You know what I mean? You can't just start. I don't know what the word is. Castrating your IPs. I mean, that's kind of how a lot of us feel.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I think Xbox is in a position to finally take a step back, to adjust here, and to do it right. Because think about 5 years ago, 343 was one of 6 studios, and one of 5 or 6 IPs exclusive to Xbox. Now we're in the 30s, the high 30s. And with once Call of Duty Blizzard Activision goes through, that's even more. So they can actually take a step back and they can not lean on Halo so much while taking their time to
Well, I think
right.
I think you can lean on Halo. I think the problem with Microsoft is they took Halo, they saw it was popular, and they tried to spread their success too much.
They hoarded out.
Yeah, they went with they started making mobile games. They're making arcade games, which the arcade game is fun, right? They're making TV shows, merchandise. Like I get that you want to spread it out, but let's take
Well, wait a minute,
let's take a Sony game, The Last of Us, right? How many Last of Us games are there?
2.
Exactly. Is there any mobile spin-offs?
There probably is.
Oh, there's a TV show.
Yeah, but the TV show came after the success. Well, I guess you could count that as Halo, but theirs is actually a good TV show.
Where the writers weren't like, you know what? Let's screw the original story. We haven't even watched it. We don't want to do anything about it.
But no, that's what I'm saying. Take what other games could take Uncharted? Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong because I guess Uncharted had mobile ports and stuff like that. Maybe I'm wrong. It feels like Halo spread too much and kind of forgot that Halo 1, 2, and 3 is what made it popular, right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Do I kind of get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I think I'm just surprised at your guys' disappointment here. I really did think I was like, oh man, they're going to be excited talking about Unreal. It's going to be and I was just is it more of a feeling of exhaustion that you guys have? Like,
I would say
there we
for
go
me,
again.
it's exhaustion
Yeah.
and the fact that I'm not going to get another Halo in a long time now.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, with the story, Jordan may disagree with me, but I didn't like some things that are now rooted in canon throughout 4, 5, and Infinite. I did not like some things.
I mean, let's be fair. You could always just wipe that out and explain it away somehow.
but
They
that's
do
what
that
they've
all the
been
time.
that's what they did in Infinite.
That's what they've been doing.
They actually did it in a decent way. It wasn't just let's go back in time and change things. I hate that route.
There's
I don't know. I just like. I mean, I had this discussion with my barber a while back, and I'm going to talk about some story arcs. Everybody, if you don't know if you don't know the Halo story and you don't want to be spoiled, maybe come back in like 2 minutes or skip ahead. But I dislike what they did with Cortana. Essentially, I think that was
but that's why they took care of it off screen in Halo Infinite, right?
I know.
They fixed it, right? I don't want them to have to do that all over again.
I really dislike that. And Blake, my barber, he had the discussion. Well, he likes that in sci-fi shows. He likes a rogue AI. He thinks that's cool. But I feel like Cortana was not just an AI. She was something more. She was a main character.
This was Halo 4, where she
5.
5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like she was more than just something that.
Sorry. I know what you're talking. Oh, sorry. I was trying to catch up with what you're talking about. You're talking about after 4.
Yeah. So 4, she touched us. 5, she betrayed us.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
4 she touched us. 5 she
Yeah.
How you differentiate between the two?
Yeah.
That's very well said, Jordan. I feel like she was not treated as an A-class character. She was treated as a B or a C-class character for those, and I don't think that's smart to do for fans of the show. Well, for people like me, I know. Like my wife is funny. I'll give her as an example. She watches some shows. Like she watches a show called Downton Abbey.
Oh yeah,
have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
One of the main characters of the show was killed off. She refuses to watch the rest of the series, and there are many shows like that. I mean, look at what happened. Look at what happened to The Office when Michael Scott left. You know, it's just Cortana was not just a C-class character, and I feel like they were treating her as one in the later stages of the story, and I strongly dislike that. I have a bad taste in my mouth. Infinite did a decent job of trying to go, hey, here's the same character. You know, here you go.
Well, see, 4, I feel like you had that emotional attachment, and so when when the events happened there at the end, it's like, whoa.
Yeah, 4 had its issues, but there was an interesting dynamic.
It's because to Mark's point, she was a main character.
Yeah, I actually think she was written pretty well in 4. I mean, like I said, I think 4 there was issues with 4, but I think her and Master Chief, their dynamic where he's acting more like a machine and she's acting more. It was, and there was a lot more emotion. Like it was really good.
Yeah.
And then they kind of shot that down the toilet with 5.
It's like episode 7 versus episode 8.
Yeah.
Initially, it's like, oh, this is interesting. Nope.
Yeah, that's actually exactly how you feel. You're like, this could go somewhere.
Never mind. Never mind. That didn't go where I wanted it to go. Yeah. Well, there you go. We'll see how this develops over time. It's going to be interesting.
Look, all in all, I'm not going to get excited for something I don't know about, right? Like, hey, moving to Unreal's cool. That's great. I want to see where Season 3 takes us with Halo Infinite. I think Halo Infinite has a lot of good in it, right? There's definitely some improvements that need to be made. But overall, I think it's a fun game, and I enjoy the gameplay of it. It's hard for me to get excited for just stuff that I don't know about, and let's be honest, it's been a disappointing few weeks for Microsoft, hasn't it?
It really has.
I mean, there's been some wins like Hi-Fi Rush, but
Can we talk about Hi-Fi Rush?
There's been some. So all in all, I'm waiting to see what happens. I hope.
So the Hi-Fi Rush is actually, to me, an example of Microsoft finally being at this point where they don't have to depend on Halo, which is why I think they're taking the opportunity, maybe, or why now. Like, hey, look, Halo Infinite was a mess from the time we launched it and we showed it off, and we were showing off alpha footage, and that was a whole marketing met. Like, it's just been a mess. Let's clean it up. Let's get the right people in charge of it. Over it, clean house,
and that seems to be the issue, because from when Microsoft did their round of layoffs, there was a lot of former employees that were talking about how there was a lot of good people at 343, right? Which I don't deny, but upper management was an issue, and that seems to be like upper management, and then Microsoft published it, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe you're right. Maybe this is the time to make those shifts.
I think so. I think because you're not so dependent on Hi-Fi Rush is an example of that. Hi-Fi Rush was shadow dropped, a surprise drop during the developer direct. Let's go. So we're showing footage of it here right now. Can we go like 3/4 of the way through here, Spicy? I want to get to the later ones just to show off. There's no like story spoilers if it's just battle, but this game. So I am on the last level right now. My goal was to beat it before today's podcast, and I just didn't. I had some stuff to do, but it's the level. It only gets better. So it starts off, and you're like, oh, this is a really fun game. And as you go, you progress. You add abilities. You add characters to your team. You add things get more complicated. The level design, the puzzles in the level design. The things that you have to do in those levels. This is top tier level design. This is a top tier game. No doubt. I believe this is going to be on the short list for Game of the Year at the end of this year. It's that good of a game. What Tango Works has done here has started an IP that I will gladly pay for and play a second one. Granted, it'll be on Game Pass, but this is the type of the game. This is why Microsoft bought the Bethesda acquisition and all the studios tied to it for something like this.
Yeah.
And it's well done. The dialogue. So there's been a lot of talk of dialogue because of the game that came out on PlayStation. What is it? Forsaken. And that dialogue is like cringeworthy, and people have been mocking it. There's been memes about, but this dialogue genuinely, especially in the later levels, I am laughing out loud. It's well written. It's a great story. It's fantastic gameplay, not to mention the music on top of it is fantastic, both the in-house and the licensed music that's there. I'm blown away by this game. Let's put it this way. I haven't beat a game in a while. This one...
You almost beat.
I almost beat. I will have it beat this weekend. I'll have it beat my one more sit-down playthrough for about an hour, and I should have this beat. It's that good. And... maybe I'll go back and get the collections, although I probably won't, let's be honest. But it's very good. Very, very good. We talked about it last week. We gave our first impressions. Apologies. And I would say that my impressions of this game, last week I had played a few hours of it. My impressions of this game, now that I've almost beaten it, is even higher. Like, it's top tier. It's quality. If this was on PlayStation, it'd be being talked about everywhere.
Fair point.
Yeah. Have you guys?
Yeah, no, I've been playing it. It's really fun. I'm on the 3rd boss section.
Oh, okay.
Right, because you know how you're. It's very clear when you finish a section, right?
Yep.
So I'm on the 3rd one.
Have you unlocked your second character yet?
Huh?
Okay, wait till you unlock your third. When you unlock your third, it's whoa. The combat.
It's really cool. It's really fun. It's super smooth gameplay. The gameplay feels good and responsive.
Also, right here, I love these supers and these mini boss fights that you get. And he's about to throw stuff at you, and you got to counter it. You got to parry it by hitting it right on beat. And then if you do, it's a one-hit kill. And he got it. He got it. One-hit kill. It's so good. So good.
Chai is a super likable character. The side cast of characters is really good. Well, like David said, it's like
it's well written.
It's a fun game that you'll enjoy, and I think that's just all people want.
Yeah, I agree.
Just a fun game. But no, and I think they did it right. I think releasing a game like this is incredibly smart. You don't have all the overhype and stuff like that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think hype can be good and it helps the game. But just this drop where they showed off the trailer, people are like, oh, that looks cool. Play it on Game Pass, so you don't really have to invest much, right? If you already have Game Pass, which a lot of people do, you just download it and play it. And look what happened. It's one of your favorite games now.
Yeah,
it's for a lot of people, it's the start of a new IP. Like people are looking forward to sequels and stuff.
Yeah, I did a mini review this week on it on a short, so it's under 60 seconds. But the thing that I said is, if you have been away from gaming and you're exhausted by gaming or you're burnt out by gaming, this is the perfect palate refresher.
Gateway drug back into it?
Yes, this reminds you why you fell in love with games in the first place. So highly recommend it. Some chat here real quick. Captain Obvious says loving it as well. Adrian Galindo says the black keys on this was epic, like Cage the Elephant on Borderlands.
Yeah.
And then Psychotic says beat the game. Haha, great dad joke. Ha. See what you did there. Yeah, and then they've implemented, like, look, 808 is being talked about. 808 is going to become, in Xbox marketing, 808 is going to become the equivalent of
Yoshi?
Of Yoshi. Yeah, exactly.
That's
or Kirby.
808 is now Xbox's Yoshi.
It's Xbox's Yoshi. 808 is it's just a good game.
808 is the cat, everybody.
The cat that turns into your Destiny like partner.
Yeah, the cat is the traveler.
The traveler.
Or not the traveler, the
a
ghost.
very small traveler.
No, sorry, not the traveler. The ghost, your ghost, yeah.
Yeah, so let's that's Hi-Fi Rush, which I wanted to talk about. Now, a game that did come out this week as well, Age of Empires
on the
Definitive
console.
Edition, number 2. Now, the big question, we've all played Age of Empires.
The big question is, where's 4?
Psychotic, that's coming. Psychotic says, hey, bros, who has the most hours of Age of Empires 2 between the three of you, and what is your go-to civilization? Keep up the great work. So, I don't know who has the most hours. I mean, we're talking not
This
on
is like
Xbox, but on PC.
Years and years ago, I wouldn't even know how to quantify how much.
Well, and then is it, it's Age of Empires 2? I mean, I still have the box for 3 when I bought 3 way back when.
So I don't know, but I did jump in and play it this week, and I played free mode. They run you through a tutorial at first, which is very good, very well done. And the big question here is, because you know how it plays, super addicting. It is the marquee strategy game. I think up there with a StarCraft, for instance,
We should play
just
this
as addictive. The question is the controller ports. That's the ultimate question here, because we know how fun the game is. Does it work? Did they do a good job? And they did. It feels really good. They did a good job. It never feels janky. It never feels like they forced anything, and it doesn't feel lazy. They did this from the ground up for controllers. It's very exciting, and it looks good.
And I believe I saw that you can. I've not played it on the console yet, but I believe I saw that you can also plug in mouse and keyboard and play that way as well. If that's which is great. Let the people play how they want, man.
Yeah,
that's what I always say.
Game. Yeah, Beast says David saying a tutorial is well done says a lot after his Monster Hunter rant, which I agreed with. Yes. Yeah. Which, by the way, ready for this? Are you guys ready?
Oh no!
Ready
Here we Beast. Why did you say so?
Ready for this? This week I was downloading games. I downloaded this game, and I needed more space on my Xbox because I have a ton of games on there. And I was like, do I get rid of Call of Duty, or do I get rid of Monster Hunter? And I got rid of Monster Hunter.
You fool.
That's right. I can't. It pissed me off. It rubbed me the wrong way. It was my first date. Said some insidious things to me, and I was out. I will not be asking that gal back out.
You are a fool.
I mean, that gal was hot and easy.
Yeah.
So it's your loss.
Yeah, Age of Empires. Yeah. Did you guys jump into it this week at all?
I haven't known.
No.
This is a game that we could get lost in for hours
I wish you play it tonight
on the Xbox Lives.
against 3 hard computers.
I think every time we've played this, or no, that was Company of Heroes. Remember Company of Heroes?
And that's coming to Xbox, and we're going to play that one.
Remember Company of Heroes?
Remember it took us like a month and a half to figure out how to play the game?
No, but we legit never beat the AI.
Well, because we didn't know what some German weapons were named at the time. That made it very hard to counter.
We're getting crushed. It was 3-on-1, and we were getting crushed.
I feel like we joined that game at that moment when
It had been out for a while.
Yeah, for a long time. When the meta was already figured out and people were playing really strong builds, and we did not know how to counter those builds.
It was fun, though.
It was fun to get crushed.
And it's coming to the Xbox.
And then it got frustrating.
It really is an awesome game, though. A super cool game.
But Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition, it's just great that these real-time strategy games, finally we're getting them on console in a... I mean, we had RimWorld earlier this last year.
Yeah, that's
which
right.
is one... I mean...
Well,
these
this year
games
or
are
last year.
These games are just built for mouse and keyboard. You're just obviously going to be more efficient on them. But that they're doing them well on console says a lot and shows you the power of console, that these games also want to be on console. I mean, granted, Microsoft owns this title, so of course they want it on console. But like a RimWorld.
Does nothing but benefit it.
Does nothing but benefit it. When are we going to get Warcraft on console? That's the question, baby.
That would be really cool, actually.
That's the question. Then I would be joining you guys maybe in some raid nights. Did anyone swear this? You and Spicy did a raid this week in World of Warcraft. Anybody swear? And
No,
Spicy, did you have to go on a walk at all, Spicy?
No, actually, I find dying hilarious in this game. I don't know if it's because I have... You know how you have your serious games?
Yeah. Yeah, remember that rule? You can only have like one game that you
I
can
know
be
that there are games out there, or WoW is a game that a lot of people take very seriously.
Hardcore, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not one of those guys.
Jordan takes it hardcore. He's a hardcore.
Hey, but
I'm in the middle.
Wow.
I do pretty good though, right? Without like not taking it as serious as you.
Yeah.
I'm not a detriment to the team.
No,
Be honest.
No,
This
there's
is a safe place.
no. There's a lot of terrible players in that game, and you are definitely not one of them.
Thank you.
And
Oh my
I
gosh,
mean
that's
that
a
I mean
compliment.
that with the
Beautiful.
utmost respect to all the players of World of Warcraft, but there's a lot out there. That
Rub you the wrong way.
yeah.
No, yeah, it was. So we played one of the higher mythic dungeons too, and that one was the one that made me laugh because when you die 10 seconds in,
Oh, no,
the whole team wipes 10 seconds in.
That wasn't even a high one. You're using the word high very loosely, and that wasn't even close to a high one.
It's just funny. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, it's gonna be one of those, huh?
It was like, okay, well, now you know not to stand in that stuff.
Yeah, it reminds me of a lot like because just context, everyone listening. I have not played World of Warcraft at all, except I played Classic for about a week 2 years ago. But I'm new. I missed this train, and a friend of mine purchased it for me because he wanted. It was Jono, one of the brothers here, and he basically pulled a Jordan technique where he bought it, so I'd feel guilty if I didn't play with him.
Yeah.
And so I started playing it, and it's fun. I like it. There's a lot on the screen, like more than any other game I've ever seen in my life. Numbers. I lose my mouse a lot. You know, I'm a noob. But it really is funny when you go into a dungeon and everybody just starts dying. It reminds me of like Leroy Jenkins.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that was after that first initial part, everybody kind of got it under control, and we succeeded.
Yeah, we did. Oh man, but yeah. So I've been playing that a little bit with Jordan.
But no, I say this all the time. I'd love to see World of Warcraft come to the console. I think it would do nothing but benefit the game.
Amen. Let's talk about Crossfire X. Remember when we were
Shutting down the servers.
That's crazy. This is crazy news.
Remember when we were all very excited for that?
Well,
when
I
it
was
announced?
saying before the show because I like these Counter-Strike style games, right?
Yeah.
And I was saying before the show, it's like, well, maybe people don't want it on the console, or there's not an interest there because it just seems like all the ones that are coming out, they just don't seem to be doing very well. But then I thought, like, well, what if you put Valorant on console? I think Valorant would do good.
Valorant would crush it.
You know,
when Valorant comes to console.
Yeah.
No, if.
Yeah, we looked it up a while back. Valorant said that they're working on coming to console. I don't think it's going to happen. But
They did say it was like 3 months ago.
Yeah,
right?
well, yeah,
So
it wasn't
here's the
too far,
thing:
yeah.
Crossfire X is the lowest rated Xbox game of all time.
That is incredibly unfortunate.
Users,
Wait, how
users,
and why? I mean,
critics give it
I
30.
played it for a couple days.
Critics
and
give it a
stopped.
38, and users give it a 3.3 out of 10. 38 out of 100.
Why do they use different scoring systems? Isn't that the same?
It is the same. It's just how you put it together. It makes no sense. I don't know.
Yeah, why? Like,
I don't know.
I mean, obviously, I wasn't enthralled because I'm not currently playing it.
well, I remember we played it, and it was like there was some issues with it.
Well, I don't
I went
think
back
it
to
was
it,
ever
and
what
then
we
it just-
expected. It never got fully fleshed out. I think Warface was it Warface?
Warface Breakout.
Breakout? Whatever. We were playing that, and then we were like, "Oh, okay." When Crossfire X comes, that's when it will.
Yeah,
that's
because
we're gonna
Warface
jump
Breakout
to
had
that.
its own issues.
And then it
That one
wasn't.
had some
And then it
black
wasn't. It just
lazy.
wasn't. It was like just a letdown.
Yeah.
And so the servers are being shut down in May, both single player and multiplayer.
See, and I never went back for the single player, which I should probably try and go back real quick because it's done by Remedy, I think.
Well, you want to
single
play
player.
the worst rated game? We should. We should actually go through.
Well, I mean, going in with these expectations, I'll probably enjoy it.
we
right?
should actually go through the list of worst rated games ever.
Let's do an impromptu. Yeah,
Xbox. And
top 5 worst
So this
rated
is
games
just
on
on
Xbox.
Xbox.
Top 5 worst games.
Number one by far is Crossfire X,
That's crazy.
and it's at a 38. Then you've got The Last Oricru, which I don't even know that game. Yeah, don't want to know that game. Just
Choose ones that we know.
it looks terrible. Okay, well we
Well,
know Dragon Ball: The Breakers, Gungrave,
Dragon Ball Breakers.
Maybe that's why.
That comes in at number 3.
Oh,
Number 4,
man.
number 4 worst rated game, Gungrave Gore, MX vs ATV Legends.
I remember that one.
Dolman, don't know that one. Match Point Tennis Championships. I actually have that on my box because I'm like, tennis, yeah, I'll play it. And I've just never fired it up.
Well, now you know.
It comes in at number 7. Sonic Frontiers.
Really?
Comes
That's
in at
surprising.
61. Which one is Sonic Frontier?
That's the new one. Yeah. I know, like you
I
want
do.
it to fail. I've honestly heard different. The overall review is 8 out of 10.
No,
That's
this
not
is
bad.
for, pure Xbox rates it an 8 out of 10. What does Metacritic give it?
No, I've actually heard both. I've heard some people say like, "Hey, it's not a classic Sonic. It's not my type of game. I don't like it." And then I've heard like, "I really like the open world Sonic." Like I've heard both things. Like it seems polarizing.
Well, I think Xbox players are much more judgmental on other consoles. So the PC and PS5, it's getting in the 70s. PS4 rather. On the Xbox Series X, it got a 61.
This is
But it's getting an 8.3 user score. So I feel like you said, this might
What-
be
hold
this
on.
might be hit or miss.
So it's the critics that are giving it different on.
the
on
critics
different
gave
consoles?
it a 61.
What were they expecting? Like a Citizen Kane?
Well, hold on. No. I'm just confused. Okay, so the critics gave it a 61 on Xbox. What did the critics give it on PlayStation?
PlayStation a 71.
Why?
Because
I'm
it's
pretty
different,
sure there
it's
was
different. It's different websites.
Oh,
So there's
okay.
PlayStation only websites.
Okay, that makes more sense.
It's the controller.
Well, maybe I'll be honest. I lean that way. I lean towards the PlayStation.
Well, so here's the
controller.
thing. I think people really struggle. The reason that you either love it or hate it probably is people very much struggle with the idea. The Sonic is a fast speed side scrolling, or even if you do 3D, which they've done.
Doo-doo.
If you do. If you are in 3D on Sonic, it's on rails so that it can be blazingly
Yeah.
fast. That was the concern when watching.
I remember watching different YouTube reviewers that like I trust, and they generally all seem the same. But I remember one of them really had a fun time with the open world Sonic. The other one, it just wasn't for him. He preferred the classic Sonic. You know, like it just seemed like it was really kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
I think it just kind of depends on what you prefer, I guess, right? The classic style Sonic, or if you enjoy the new style Sonic.
I'm pulling up the gameplay so we can.
So this is Frontier?
Yeah, that's one of the maps in Frontier because they do still have side scrolly stuff, but they just have the open
this
world
is,
stuff.
I mean, yeah, like look, the formula for Sonic is just fabulous. This is reminding me of Sonic Colors, which I'm very much into and is a fantastic game
Let me
if you've not
skip
played
around
it.
here and
yeah,
just
go to like the open world part. There you go.
There you go, David. Now it's
Yeah, see, I think
Now you don't like it.
this is basically a lot.
This sucks. I'm going to give it a 61.
It's basically a lot. Well, it could be interesting. Like, it looks beautiful. It looks really good, but it's not Sonic. It's Mario. You just took Sonic and made him Mario.
Well, Mario was Mario and then became Mario later. That's really profound, I know. Mario was 2D and then became 3D. Maybe this is what they're trying to do.
Well, but there's 3D.
they
There's
did-
3D
yeah.
Sonics. Like Sonic Colors has 3D levels, and they're very good. It's super fun, but it's all on rails. Like, see this? Like, you're basically like, look, this is not Sonic.
I don't know. I'll have to play the game and find out.
Yeah, it's hard to have a discussion about a game I've never played.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, it's
That
not,
sucks.
I can tell by watching it, it's not for me. I'll say it. That's it. Sonic Frontiers is the number 8 worst ranked Series X game. Vampire the Masquerade, which I thought was pretty popular. I thought that was pretty popular. Comes in at number 9, and then number 10 is, where was I?
I think it was Scorn.
Scorn, which just came out, which is just, that's definitely not for everybody. That's the weird,
I
that's
feel
the
like,
alien gore game where you're.
I've yet to play it, but I think I may or may not fall in that category because there's some stuff that I see in that game like I kind of like what they're going for there.
Yeah, maybe for you.
Well,
And then there's other stuff.
I've seen some things where I'm like, well, Jordan would probably like this.
Based on what I know about Jordan, he would probably like this.
Yep.
Anyway, that's interesting. There you go. That's the.
Yeah, but that really is a shame going back to Crossfire X because there was a lot of cool hype behind it. It was a big deal because it wasn't when they first announced it. It was what Tencent that owns
Tencent,
it.
yeah, and you were like,
then
all right, China coming in.
The Crossfire brand is like one of the most popular game, if not the most popular game in the world. One of the most popular games in the world because like the Asian market, like it's just incredibly popular. So there's a lot of hype behind this game, but it just
Fell on
I
its
just didn't
face.
seem to deliver.
Just
Yeah,
fell
I
flat on its face. So there you go. But again, Hi-Fi Rush. If you guys feeling down, feeling blue, play some Hi-Fi Rush this week or Age of Empires.
Yeah, I think I'm
Definitive
gonna
edition.
download and play some Age of Empires.
Number
But guys,
2,
I
baby.
am super excited. So I actually,
Harry Potter.
yeah, Hogwarts Legacy. So I did get the deluxe edition to get the game early.
How much was the deluxe edition? How much did you pay?
I think it's like $10 more than the regular edition
done.
because
I'll-
everybody thinks it's awesome to, $70.
Upcharge you?
$70 a games now. It's hurtful.
Wait, how early do you get it?
3 days.
72 hours.
So you get it on Saturday
Tuesday
or Sunday?
Tuesday.
Comes out on Friday.
So it comes out Friday, next Friday. But you get it on Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
No, anyway. But yeah, pricing of games aside, like, so it's, I think the base game is $69.99, and then I think it's $79.99 for the deluxe edition. But anyway, I do like to get games early, but this one, I feel more comfortable with my purchase because a lot of, if not all the early impressions, a lot of them, and early impressions from people that I like on YouTube and trust their opinion,
Yep.
a lot of people have been having fun with it.
Well, like I
So-
said, I went back and watched Jack Frags again, and it's like, I want to.
Now, yes,
fight.
some people have pointed out that
I
they
wanna
have
fly.
been like, those were curated experiences, right? They had them do certain things and stuff like that, but
That's fine.
I don't know, like it just
like that right there, he brings lightning down.
there's
Oh,
nothing
man.
that I've seen
Oh,
in this
man.
game that makes me worry that it's going to be bad at launch, right? Yet maybe there's going to be a bug or two or visual, whatever, right? But nothing like I don't get the impression that this is going to be Cyberpunk. And I mean I don't know. I won't know until Tuesday.
Well, the
But
combat, we're watching combat here.
I
guys.
really
Again,
am hoping for a good time, and I really think it'll just be a fun game.
They've definitely done like fan
Service.
fan service here, yeah. Because we were watching this, like I said, we were watching it with the kids, and my wife's like, "Oh, that's this spell. That's wow. They used all the spells. That's this spell. That's this spell."
23 spells.
So
Crucio is
very
one
cool.
of them. Which
yeah,
is
she was
interesting.
she was like, "Whoa, they went dark magic."
Yeah.
here."
yeah.
Very excited. So what you're saying is, if I want to play it on Tuesday, I need to pre-order it, okay, or get the.
They get the
$10
deluxe
plus
edition. Or you have to wait till Friday.
Okay, well, I do want to shout out Chief Wiggum's here in the house. He dropped a super chat and says, "Hey guys, hey Chief Wiggum, thank you very much for being here. Good to see you, brother. All right, Harry Potter it is. I'm in. I'll finish Hi-Fi Rush tomorrow, and then I'll just leave things open for the Harry Potters.
The Hogwarts Legacy.
It's not even called Harry Potter. It's just called Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah.
Well, because Harry Potter is not in this.
Yeah.
He's in the third age,
I
not
wonder,
the second age.
is his parents or his grandparents? His grandparents, right?
Well, I'm sure
Or his great-grandparents?
somehow they
I think
are,
it is
right?
great-grandparents.
At the same time period.
So the Potters.
He
the
does
Potters.
have lineage.
Yeah, I'm sure they're there somewhere.
Yeah, I bet you we get some nods towards the great-grandparents here. That would be awesome. All right, everybody. Hey, it's been a fabulous week. So you got some big news, some big things happening in Xbox. Enjoy your week, everybody. Thank you for tuning in once again. Thank you, everybody, for being here live in chat. And for all of our members, we appreciate you. To become a member, you just have to come to YouTube, subscribe to the channel, and then hit that membership button. It's like YouTube's own Patreon. And it's how you can support the show. You get a great loyalty badge there. You do get shout-outs, too. If you go to the main page on YouTube at the very top, it says shout-out to our members, and it will show some of our members every single week. So, super fun. But thank you, everybody. Exciting. Harry Potter next week. We're going to talk about it. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you next time.
I'm walking away.